Hello, I'm making this little video for you, Lyman Jr., so that you can see how your quilt was made. This is a picture of looking down at the machine from the stairway, and you can see it's fairly large. It allows me to put entire quilts all the way up to king size on it and do the quilting. Here's Sophie. Sophie keeps me company all the time. Right, Sophie? Here's some of the equipment I use. This is various kinds of threads. I'm actually using an invisible thread that's a polyester thread on the top and white on the bottom. And here's the bobbin winder. There's a little bobbin on there already wound, and this is the thread that I'm using on the bottom. It's a very thin, strong cotton thread. And if we walk over here, we see the machine again. This is lengthwise. I have some lights to try to help supplement, which work really well. Little catch bags. And then we're going to move on over to the quilt. I've actually got most of it done. I'm down into the last row of birds. And so what I'm doing is just a free form loops and feathers on this outside section and leaves. And then I'm actually outlining each of the boxes and then each of the little clusters of birds. And so right now I've gotten these boxes done and I'm about to do some more on this bird. So I thought I'd try just holding the camera here now that I've been doing it for a little while and see if I can manage to actually show you as I'm stitching. So you can see I just go down, up and down. It's taken me a while to get kind of used to the machine and sort of the resistance it has when you're doing stitches. So my stitches still aren't perfect, but it's got sort of a very nice consistent feel to it. And so I'm able to pretty much stay on the lines most of the time. You can hear every once in a while, a little bit of friction where it goes, makes a slightly different noise. And so what I'm doing basically is just outlining each of the birds, just like this. You see, I stay on the line some of the time, but not perfectly. And I can slow down and speed up and still have the stitches the same because there's actually a stitch regulator on this, which allows me to choose the number of stitches per inch. Right now I'm using 14. When I do bigger things, I actually go down to 12. And when I'm doing really tiny things, I actually can go up to like 16. If the machine can go up to 20 something. And these are the number of stitches per inch. So it's pretty amazing how detailed it can do. But you can see how, this is just a cool thing because basically you're just drawing with a needle. And I'm really looking forward to doing some actually stitch art where you literally draw when you're doing it. And you can, shade things and actually just draw pictures. So that's it for this section. I don't know if I had you in the screen the whole time. Hope so. And then I'm going to go on in a minute and show you how I do the main swirly sections. Okay, I'm back again. I'm going to show you how to do the swirly sections. Actually, I'll show you a little bit about the machine. It's got buttons to start and stop and move the needle up and down on one side. Start and stop on this side. You can actually change them if you want. It has these lower handles for doing the micro work, which I've been using most of the time. And then when you're doing big patterns, you can use these upper handles. I also have this magnifying glass. It's a lip magnifying glass when I'm doing teeny tiny things. It's super great. And it was great for practicing so that I could get used to staying on the lines. And then this is the little part that you change. You can change the number of inches up here. It's 14 right now, and you can go up and down. You can change the modes of how you're stitching. Right now, I have it in something called cruise, where once I start it, it just keeps stitching, and as I move, it changes the speed of the stitch. You can also have it so that it doesn't start stitching, which is on precision, or you can have it on manual, where you control just by how fast you move the machine. You can control the size of your stitches. In addition, there's an up and down needle stop where you can choose to have the needle up or down when you stop the machine. And then here, this is the tension on the thread. And you actually change the tension with this little guy down here on the side of the machine, which is where the thread is inside. And it's just a simple spring that controls it. It's amazing how well and heavy duty this machine is, and how simple it actually is, and how it controls the threads. And then down below, you can't see, is the bobbin holders underneath the machine. And then on the other side of this magnifying glass is a little Ashley gadget where I can lock with a magnet and have the machine only go in a perfectly straight line, up or down or sideways. I haven't really used that a whole lot. I use it to just start when I'm pinning down the quilt at the very beginning. But I've been pretty much free-forming doing the boxes and things because I'm really kind of enjoying drawing the lines and getting the practice. Well, that's probably more than you wanted to know, but now I'm going to try and show you how I do some of the freeform. And what I do first is I choose the place where I want to start, and it's actually a little hard to see where I've already done. You can see the shadows here that I've been up in this area. So I'm going to start my needle close to that. I choose this button to make the needle go down, and then up again. And then if I hold on to the thread, which is actually pretty hard to see because it's a see-through thread, there it is over there. I have to grab onto it. When I grab onto it, as you can see, there's a little white thread that I can pull up through, and by doing that, I've pulled the bobbin thread up. I don't know if you can see it by my old hand here, but that's the bobbin thread. And so if I start get the focus on it, if I start my stitching there, I will be locking in with the bobbin, and also I'll be able to not have any threads on the bottom that I have to go back to. So I'm going to turn this machine on for a bit, do a couple of locking stitches back and forth, and then just start into my swirls. So I do a little swirl, and then I go back around it, and then I'm thinking of doing a big thread up here, go down. You can hear the machine as it's controlling the stitches. I'll go into that and back again, and then I'm going to go over here and do a swirl. This is actually the great big swirl, go in. I'm actually trying to do this by looking at being on the camera, so it's kind of funny. And then another thread here, back again. I thought that I could use my iPhone to watch it. That's probably enough for you to see basically how your quilt was made. So back up, and you can take a peek. And hopefully this will be in your hands on your birthday. Happy 95th birthday, a little bit early. I hope to have this done along with the pillow that goes with it. Take care, bye.